Avengers! Assemble.
Hello and welcome back to Excelsior, the world's #1 Marvel's Avengers podcast. I'm your director, Christian Buckley. Joining me, as always, is the Apex legend, my Irish brother, Jack Martin. How are you doing?
Excelsior, Christian. Happy St. Patrick's Day as of this recording.
Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day. The game is celebrating, Jack. We always wanted Halloween specials. We got a holiday one today. Are you doing anything specific to celebrate the Saint of Patrick?
I didn't. In fact, I didn't even wear green today.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. We should have done that. But I'll shout out baseball's back, and the Boston Red Sox are wearing some pretty amazing green jerseys today. And I want to look into that because those are pretty sick.
Yeah, if I can scoop up like a nice Kike Hernandez green Red Sox jersey, I might do that.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah. So for the people that aren't from Boston or Irish, welcome back to the show. We have some stuff going on in the Marvel world this week. Some exciting, some par for the course. But before we dive into any of that, Jack, how's Marvel going for you lately? Because we're about to come out of a break. You know, we got Moon Knight coming up in just 2 weeks. Are you ready for Marvel to hit you again? Are you wishing it was a bit more of a break? Where's your mind at with Marvel right now?
I'm about ready for it to come back. I think the last thing we had, besides No Way Home, which was fantastic, was Hawkeye. And that left a bit of a sore taste in my mouth. I didn't really... or sour taste, I suppose. I didn't really like and connect with that show all that much. I thought it was very by the books, kind of basic, and didn't really go all the way that I think it could have in terms of like the source material it was based off of. So I'm very interested in Moon Knight, and we'll talk about Ms. Marvel and some other future projects that are coming up very soon that I'm very excited about and look to be very experimental and deviating from the traditional Marvel standard and blueprint. So I'm about ready for it to come back. How about you?
Yeah, same. I'm in the Star Wars vibes right now. I think I'm more excited for Kenobi than I am for Moon Knight, which is like, it's not fair because duh, but like I am really excited for Moon Knight, and I hope it does get weird and really feels fresh for Marvel because I think it's going to be a nice interstitial between No Way Home, the fan service movie, which was still a good movie in its own right, not to discredit it. I still really enjoyed that arc. And I almost said Masters. Multiverse of Madness, which is also probably going to be a fan service movie. Having this new thing, Moon Knight and Oscar Isaac, bringing a MCU shaking performance and character to life. I hope it lives up to it because I think that would be the adrenaline shot that I need out of the bat suit into my leg to continue on being a fan, you know?
That's a good call. Yeah, I feel like there's been some really great Phase 4 projects like with WandaVision and Spider-Man, but I don't know. I feel like there's been kind of a lot of hit and Shang-Chi, for example. Like there's just been a lot of hit or miss movies, like in projects. Like Eternals didn't connect with me, and a lot of people for that matter. Hawkeye didn't connect with me. The other Disney Plus shows I think were really good, and some were great, but they were kind of standard in a lot of ways. Black Widow was kind of meh, so I'm kind of hoping for some more diverse projects going forward.
Yeah, and I think we definitely have that in store between Moon Knight and, Morbius and a few other things coming up.
Oh, God. Forgot about Morbius.
April 1st, buddy.
I know, yeah. It's what an April Fool's joke we're getting with that movie.
Yeah, so I'm going to go unironically on April Fool's Day because that means it is ironically,
Yeah.
Well, why don't we get into what's up with the game, because there's not too much going on this week, but there is something topical going on. So let's crack open Fury's report for the week. Double resources are back running through today as of recording, the 17th of March through the 24th. You'll be able to get in there, get double resources, and spend them to your liking. But if you're looking to spend some more money, Real money, not resources. We got a special St. Patrick's Day sale in the shop that is also running to the 24th. And out of all of the Marvel's Avengers characters, Jack, which one do you think is highlighted for St. Patrick's Day as the fun sale?
Well, I know which one it is, and I think it's
Sure.
hilarious because it really makes no sense aside from the color scheme,
Yeah.
and it's Hulk because he's
Yeah.
green.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, it honestly, if they were just like, "Hey, St. Patrick's Day sale, 50% off everything," that would have made a lot more sense. I get what they're going for here. I think it's very silly because Hulk does not strike me as an Irish lad.
Bruce Banner. That maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I get it. It's green. It's fun. Whatever. Um, I will say, continuing the Boston trend, I know there's a skin for Hulk in this game, which is like an athletic jersey basketball looking thing, and it's like
Yes.
green with a black number on it. So like it does look like a Celtics jersey, kind of. So maybe they could have just given that one out, like Happy St. Patrick's Day. But
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
This is a fun little marketing thing. It's not really that
sure,
big a deal one way or another, but
yeah.
I just think it's funny that Hulk is the guy.
Whoever's idea it was like, yeah, very good call. Didn't have to do much like presentation for it. Like it was a good thing, to just have an extra thing on the blog this week. It was a good idea. But we do have new, exciting skins that we can get to right now. So what's going on in the marketplace in terms of MCU skins? Because they're back in full force.
Yes. So another MCU skin, only for PlayStation fans.
Wah,
Sorry.
wah.
This is Spider-Man's Avengers Infinity War outfit, and this is like the Iron Spider outfit in the MCU. Looks great. I kind of feel like I say the same thing over and over every time they do a Spidey skin, but I mean, they don't have any Hairgate situation because he's always in a mask, so it just kind of looks like a one-for-one comparison, and it looks great.
Yeah. And I know there's some people that don't like that suit, but I do really love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, people like low-key hate this suit, like a lot of people do, and I never understood that. Like, this was never supposed to be his main suit. This was, oh, I'm in an Avengers movie, I guess I got to bulk up suit. And I always took that for what it was. And I thought that was cool. And I never really got the hate. Like, do you want Spider-Man literally fighting Thanos in spandex? I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the design of it. I like the big spider. I think it looks great. And like you said, continues the trend of looking like a good asset in this game. Am I going to buy it? No, I don't think so. Like, truly, I think the only MCU skin, or technically MCU, I guess, skin that they actually get me on, where I don't have enough credits, I have to crack open the wallet, would be either Toby and or Andrew's suit. Like I would shell out for that.
Yeah, see, I don't think I play Spider-Man enough to even do that.
Sure.
But I think they have to be doing that soon. And I'm surprised they already haven't.
Yeah, the only thing I seriously can think of is the similar reason that Insomniac was like, "Hey, it's kind of complicated to get it. We can't really talk about why, but like, we heard you for the 8 months you were screaming about that suit, you know."
Sure.
So
And I imagine not too many people are screaming about this
no,
because those suits are in the game that everyone else plays.
yes. Uh, there's also from last week, which weird that they did one last week, but they didn't this week. So like, I don't. Was it just happenstance? We have the Ultron Black Widow outfit that was exclusive to Xbox and PC last week is now available on PlayStation. So PlayStation users get 2 skins this week, and everybody else gets nothing.
Yeah.
Very strange. Like, it probably was just like a, hey, we can do it this week. We have both these things ready. That's probably what it was, right?
Yeah. Yeah, most likely.
So, speaking of happenstance and just things we're just laying around, there is a bonus for players of Guardians of the Galaxy that I did send this to you. And as somebody who bought Guardians on my Xbox, I cannot take advantage of this.
This is unfortunate. This is very unfortunate for you in
Hmm.
your very specific situation.
Yes. Did you do this though? Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Haven't done it yet. So basically, if you have Guardians of the Galaxy and you played it, and you have save data on your console, and you also have Marvel's Avengers, you will get the endgame skins for Clint and Nat for free, which is cool. Kind of random. I don't know why it was those specific skins, but cool nonetheless.
Yeah, they're good looking suits, right? I think Clint's I'm not into really, and I think there is a better version of his endgame look in the game now. But the Black Widow skin is really nice, and Hairgate aside, for some people, I think it's a great look to have as a main option for Black Widow because it was one of the first ones into the game, and it also did have like really good details on it. So if you have Guardians, it's a freebie. If you've been waiting to maybe fill out your arsenal of heroes with MCU skins that you don't necessarily main, if you're not really a Hawkeye player, you have a chance now at no cost. So
Mm.
there you go.
I need to do this. I need to actually be good about doing this because I'm gonna forget. I think it's a timed thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it is like gone today. By the time this episode's out, it might be expired. I don't know if they slapped a date on it. If they did, I forgot what it was. It's probably
I'm
the end of
gonna.
the month.
Yeah, I would hope so. I'm gonna check that up.
Okay.
Check that out. Oh, this
Well,
is. Oh, yes, it is. From March 11th, 3/11 day, to the end of the month, 3/31.
all right. Not bad. You got some time. And if you're really trying to be like efficient, maybe you find Guardians of the Galaxy on sale. You're waiting on it. You pick it up, and it's like, hey, technically, I maybe bought this game for the price of two skins, but I got two skins and a game out of it. So
Mm.
that game is on sale now, like pretty frequently. I think like 25-30 bucks because of Square Enix. You know.
Yeah, and I believe it's on Game Pass
Yes, as is
as
Avengers.
well.
So
Yes. So this is a whole free situation for Xbox users.
yeah, so if you for some reason are listening to this show and you aren't skipping to the MCU stuff and you're listening for Avengers and you've never played Avengers and you own an Xbox, you got a big deal waiting for you. Just log
That's
in
right.
without Game Pass. So,
Man,
incredible value.
what a yeah, great deal. I got
Yeah.
Tunic coming out for me, so very
Yeah,
excited.
I messed with Shredders this morning, which is a new
Mm,
snowboarding game. And
that seems like the perfect Game Pass game.
yeah, I think it must have been made by a very small team, but it's got like PS2 like charm to it in a way where it's cringy, but it's like aware of itself. It's very odd, but snowboarding's kind of fun. So
Nice, very cool.
yeah, it's a good Game Pass pickup, much like Marvel's Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly.
Well, there was going to be a section for updates today, but there's really nothing to report on just yet because as of recording, there's supposed to be an update on the war table today, a blog post on changes coming to the in-game war table. However, it has not yet been posted. I'll keep an eye out on the Twitter feed throughout the rest of the recording and see if anything comes up. But that's also your stark reality that this show and Crystal Dynamics doesn't revolve around each other in terms of scheduling.
No, you're gonna get a hot and quick Excelsior this week.
Yes. I will say, between last week and today, Andy Wong, who was a community lead at Crystal Dynamics and specifically was very vocal and public with Marvel's Avengers, uh, left Crystal Dynamics, had their final day. I think sometime last week. Twitter was very supportive for their efforts with the community in the game. But shout out to Andy. You did what you could. You did a good job. I recognize your Twitter profile. Good follow on Twitter. I think I forget where they moved to. I don't know if they announced it yet, but yeah.
Yeah, good for Andy. I believe it's Capcom.
Yes, that's correct.
I just looked it up. But yeah, Andy was hosting like the weekly streams, I believe. It was very active, and I imagine that job was very difficult, and I think Andy did a great job and was very communicative and great to see on Twitter, as well as like I remember watching like the streams of some of the devs detailing like new updates or talking about like new skins, or I remember the Spider-Man stream that Andy was a part of, and those are great. So congrats to Andy for the job well done, as well as the new venture.
Absolutely. Well, meanwhile, there's some stuff going on in the greater Marvel universe. Not greater in relation to the quality of this game, but greater as in wider scoped. But we got a few things. We'll build to the big one. First up, it's official. Today's March 17th. So the Defenders Saga, as it is listed, is now available on Disney Plus.
That's tough that it's really called the Defenders Saga.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that makes sense. But then I have to think about the Defenders anytime I think about Daredevil.
That is true, which is unfortunate. But what I will say, I don't think this necessarily rules out it being canon yet, even though it's not listed in the timeline playlist. Maybe.
Sorry,
Maybe
you said
I
it
probably
doesn't
sound like one of those
rule it
desperate
out?
Shield fans. Yeah, like I don't know. It feels like it's still kind of up in there because like the Defenders Saga, the Infinity Saga,
Sure.
like this isn't like other Marvel like those X-Men movies are listed as, like uh, it's its own thing on there presentation wise. Like Shield didn't even get that, I don't think. So
Yeah.
I think there's a world, you know.
I'm like genuinely confident that this is in the MCU. And I would be really surprised if it wasn't. Because we have Daredevil showing back up, same actor. Kingpin showing back up, same actor. Like, there's nothing that directly contradicts the MCU in those shows. In fact, like, they were built to live within the MCU. So it's weird to me that they haven't just been like, yeah, it's in the MCU. That's just obvious to me.
Yeah,
Like, I'm confused why they wouldn't do that.
and I know there are Agents of Shield fans out there that are desperately clinging on to the idea that it's canon. Which, like, hey, if that's you, good for you, But these shows don't open like wormholes to other dimensions in space time, and like that show clearly jumped a shark at some point. Daredevil's biggest thing was like Kingpin blew up a couple buildings. It's like yeah, you watch the Avengers, like you can make that make sense. So yeah, I think obviously we have to wait for an official confirmation at some point. Maybe we'll never get that, but the fact that we are seeing the same actor showing up after the fact, as opposed to like Clark Gregg was in Avengers and then went into Agents of Shield, like does make me think that even if they're not going to directly say it, the characterization of Matt Murdock and whoever else we see return will feel familiar, you know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If you want to see more Matt Murdock in the MCU, I did see there was a photo of a deleted scene between him and Happy Hogan in No Way Home that was released alongside the digital release of No Way Home because it's out now.
I'm upset about this
Why is that?
because I have my 4K Blu-ray copy pre-ordered, and that's not coming till like April, like mid-April. I've seen people get their 4K Blu-ray copies by mistake, sent early, and now this is available for purchase digitally. I would just like my copy, please, now, to watch all this, and I'm not gonna pay for this digital copy, even though I'm slightly tempted. I want to see all those behind the scenes stuff, but I gotta wait. I gotta wait like a month.
Yeah, I mean like I feel like we're gonna reach a point where just to promote the digital stuff, they'll start maybe giving you the digital code if you because the Blu-ray that you're buying does probably come with a digital copy, right? Because most of them do.
Probably, yeah,
Like you should get that now, right?
that'd be
Shouldn't
nice.
you? Like
That'd be
as a
nice.
as a loyal customer, as a pre-order owner, you
I
should.
don't think that that would be cool.
Yeah.
Um, I usually just give those away or just ignore them. I don't think I've ever been like, you know what, let's download this ultraviolet copy.
Oh man, yeah, I have several of those. I think just lying around my house, just from like Blu-rays I like cracked open and never even thought about them. But
Imagine if that's how video games worked, and like you got your physical video game, and it's like, sweet, now let's download the digital version. I'm like kind of surprised that is a thing, because I give those away all the time.
yeah, dude, that's a good point because I definitely gave a few to my brother and my girlfriend. So like they don't have to. I'm actively making Sony Pictures lose money, right? Like that's
Yeah,
bonkers. What a world.
and they must know that too.
Probably. I mean, if they don't, I just made a lie, Sony. You didn't hear that, but
Yeah. I mean, it's just so easy to pirate things now that they're probably just like, whatever.
yeah. Anyway, slow news week. Okay, speaking of Sony Pictures, a lot of Sony talk. That Madam Web film that
Mhm.
is starring Dakota Johnson has a new cast member added to the cast in an undeclared role. We have Euphoria's Sydney Sweeney.
Not familiar with the show, not familiar with this actress. And honestly, when I saw this news, I was like, oh yeah, this movie's still happening. And they're still continuing to work and to
Mm-hmm.
cast people in this. So that was my reaction to this news. Do you have any background with this person? And do you have any expectations on who she'll play?
So I've seen one episode of Euphoria uh, from like a couple weeks ago. Her character Cassie was a pretty big player in that episode. I think she can act well. Like she has talent, and I think as a addition to the cast, that's an interesting choice. And I was familiar with her for a while because of Euphoria and just like the memes and things people throw around, but I don't know what else she's done. I think she's also a model, maybe. Um, like if you saw her, I think you would recognize her probably.
Yeah, I
But
looked up her Wikipedia. She's in Handmaid's Tale and Sharp Objects.
okay, okay, yeah. So she's been in some like really prestige television. Um, I have seen two fan theories of this casting that I could see both or neither. One is Gwen Stacy, as in like Spider Gwen Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
The other is Black Cat.
What's making me more upset the more we talk about this movie, it's like, and just Sony movies in general, Sony Spider-Verse movies in general, is just all these characters exist to support Spider-Man, and we're getting all these characters in a movie without Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just silly.
So the angle that I did see some people take with Spider Gwen would be Sony's Marvel Universe answer to having a spider character as the lead, right? Because there's been people saying, "Oh, Andrew Garfield should be," by people I mean me, the Venom Spider-Man, or the Morbius Spider-Man. Like, so they have him as an appearance in multiple movies, even if he's not leading a film. I think there was an article I think a couple months ago that said Sony's very eager to introduce a live action Miles Morales. So if they were to introduce one of the, I'd say, core three Spider people that most audiences are familiar with now, being Spider-Man Peter Parker, Spider-Man Miles Morales, or I think Ghost is the actual name, Spider-Gwen. Uh, I think if you introduce any of them, you can ground the villain universe they're doing enough to at least satisfy me. I know you might be wanting more of a Peter Parker tie, but do you think that
Um,
could be an approach they take?
I think to clarify, for me, I think it's less Peter Parker. And I think it
Okay,
would be interesting if um, either like Miles or Gwen were like the main character, but this is at the end of the day, it's still a Madam Web
sure.
movie. And so far, to me, I don't think Sony has really proven that Spider Verse characters can. They haven't really made a good movie with Spider Verse characters taking center stage. Um, Two Venom movies I don't really like, and I know I'm not going to like Morbius. I'm not even going to be like I am going in with an open mind. I am going in with a very closed mind, and I'll be very surprised if I like that movie.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. This is just not. I'm excited for like the implication of this movie, what we talked about with connecting like the multiverse, and this will definitely probably set up a Into the Spider Verse live action movie.
Hmm.
I just kind of want to skip this movie. Just kind of want to get to that point.
Sure, yeah, and I'm not. I think this is. I'm a big fan of the Venom films, but I also think Morbius is going to be awful. But I think this is the one that I genuinely think could be good, depending on like who's in the director's chair for this one. Uh, but it absolutely is, I think, going to be the counterpart to either No Way Home or Multiverse of Madness for the Sonyverse, where it's like, hey, we're making this movie to justify being able to do whatever we want moving forward. So at the very least, I think it has an opportunity to have some cool character meetups. I imagine Tom Holland is probably going to make an appearance in this movie alongside Tom Hardy. Like, I think this will be the thing that's like, hey, now that we explained it all in a full film, we can do whatever we want moving forward, even though, like you're saying, just do the thing. I feel like they probably, as a studio, feel like they have to explain it first because that's why they think the MCU worked because they justified everything after all those years of setup. So this feels
Hmm.
like that to them.
I imagine this movie's gonna be really far out there, considering
Yeah.
this is like very cosmic and very multiversey. So I don't know. We'll see about this one. I'm excited to see what the trailer looks like for this thing. That's surely a year or two away.
Yeah, same. I do feel like this one's gonna be, just because we keep hearing about it, I think this one might we might see this one faster than some of the other ones that have been announced. I would bet. Like, I think we'll see this before we see the Craven the Hunter film.
Mm. Yeah, this one seems more important to like.
Yeah.
This has to be a setup to Spider Verse, so
Hmm.
I feel like this one's more important. Want to get this one out there.
Hmm.
So yeah, sure.
Plus, Sony Pictures can move fast because, like, I think they didn't Uncharted go into production like summer 2020 and it was shot in like 2 months and it just came out a month ago. Like,
I don't know. I'm not
I
sure.
think I think they did pretty fast production on that one. So if they really need this out soon, then I think that it'll come out soon. So
Yeah, this seems like a 2024 movie to me.
yeah, good bet, good bet. We'll see what happens in the immediate future, though. June specifically, we're getting Ms. Marvel. We learned, I think, last episode that it would be coming this June, and then next after that would be She Hulk. But between last week's episode and today, we did get the first trailer for Ms. Marvel Jack, what did you think of the trailer?
It was a great trailer. I especially like the editing with the Weekend song. Um, and I like the little cartoon bubbles and stuff that were popping up around the screen. Looks really fun. I like the tone of it. I also really just like a high school story in the MCU. I feel like we've kind of only gotten that with Spider-Man, but like to a lesser extent in Homecoming. So I feel like setting the story around Ms. Marvel's character as a high schooler is very interesting to me. I like those types of stories. So yeah, this the trailer looks really good. I think it should be a fun time. What about you?
Yeah, I loved the trailer. I was very surprised, just because of the delay, you know. And like you said, this is also new for Marvel tonally, kind of, in terms of making it feel more like a high school show as opposed to Spider-Man being a high school movie. I feel like there's a difference there. And obviously, both of us are very big fans of the way they introduce Kamala Khan in the Avengers game, so the bar was high. And I know it's just a trailer, but like you said, I was really into the vibe. I think the portrayal of the powers I'm still open to, but I know the internet's been having discussions based off of that, and it's a complex issue, but yeah, atmosphere tonally, I really dug the trailer, and I'm excited to watch it when it hits in June.
Yeah, and to go on to your point about the powers, I think as long as it looks good, I don't really care. That's it to be seen because trailers can sometimes look different than the actual shows. So I don't know if that will look good. But honestly, if it looks good, I think it would probably make more contextual sense to her idol as her idol being Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, like that she has like cosmic power because of the space stone. So I feel like that would visually make a lot of sense, and for her character, I think that would make more sense for her to just be stretchy. So I'm fine with them playing around with it as long as it looks good and they reference it making sense to the context of what's going on in the MCU.
Yeah, which is strange also because I did see a like slow mo breakdown of one of the scenes of the trailer where she's doing like a jump across a roof or something, and she's
Hmm.
stretching.
Yeah,
So
I did see that.
I don't know what is happening, I guess.
It seems like a combination of a lot of people said like Green Lantern stuff, but
Yeah.
also the stretchiness. So maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah. And I did some reading since the trailer went up, just to hear other perspectives of the main issue. And I did read a bit more into it that, like, because I wasn't familiar with any of the Ms. Marvel comics, but we see in the trailer she dresses up as Captain Marvel, right?
Hmm.
Initially when she gets her powers. So in the comics, because of her stretching ability and she can also shapeshift, when she first gets her powers as an inhuman and is like outcast, she transforms herself to look like Carol Danvers to be accepted as like a white blonde superhero lady.
Hmm.
And on like a number of layers of like fear of not being accepted for being an inhuman, uh, being a Muslim superhero, like there's all those layers as well. And removing the ability for Ms. Marvel Kamala Khan, the character, to transform and change herself physically, people are worried that it will feel either inauthentic or miss an important moment in the character's origins, which I understand. And I think that's a valid reason to be either worried, upset, or concerned with the direction they're taking. And people have had the discussions before also, like the stretchy thing on television. I think like this probably should have been a film if they want to get really in depth with it. I don't know. It feels like a lot of different layers to the production in addition to the character.
I think like a lot of people have said, it probably does also come down to the Fantastic Four being on the way and not wanting to have two stretchy people. Because I gotta imagine Ms. Marvel and Reed Richards do not have much in common. Like,
Yeah.
and I think it might be visually confusing to have two stretchy people, like with the pretty much identical powers.
Hmm.
Um, so I think the move was largely to avoid that and maybe to shift that to be more in line with Carol Danvers' power and also I'm
Monica.
forgetting. Oh, Monica Rambeau's powers, because we have the Marvels coming up soon. So I think visually they're probably all going to look very similar.
Yeah, I imagine the consistency of what they were going for there also makes sense because like the MCU also kind of ditched Inhumans real fast without even like really attempting it, kind of. So like I feel like with mutants being on the horizon, like literally any day now, they might not want to introduce Inhumans and mutants at the same time. So like I think that the show has an uphill battle absolutely with the reinterpretation of her origin and what Ms. Marvel as a superhero means. But I also think that like there's a lot of layers to why they probably made the changes. So
Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah, I am very excited to check it out. I think it was a great trailer to sell the vibe for sure.
No, I agree. I don't think it was something I was really like hyped for at first, but coming from Avengers and this great trailer, I think this should be a really fun time.
Yeah, and like I think having a series to explore characters at this age is also gonna have the opportunity to make it feel even more ground level and real than Spider-Man does to a degree because you have multiple hours instead of just two, right? So I think that'll hit for a lot of people, and it will probably be a lot or torn down by other people also who are like, oh, I don't relate to this. I can't empathize with this because it's not about me. It's a high school girl. So there's gonna be a lot of discourse around the show. I already
Yeah.
know.
No, I think you're right.
But that's really it in terms of Marvel right now. Is there any other thoughts you have on Ms. Marvel's trailer?
No, not really. I think like what you said earlier, this is going to overlap with Kenobi and or Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm much more looking forward to that show. But interested to see if one of those switches to Wednesday or Friday, because like if they're gonna both be releasing on Wednesday, I'm gonna have to get up even earlier than I do on Wednesdays to watch them back to back.
I know, dude. For the love of God, just release Kenobi at Friday nights, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think any of these shows should be on Fridays,
Yeah.
and when there's an overlap, release one on Wednesday.
Well, we don't run Disney, Jack. That's the problem.
No.
But that's it for Marvel's Avengers and Excelsior this week, really. There's not much else. I did double check to see if the War Table changes are up, and they are not from my looks. But, Jack, until next week, where can the agents of Excelsior find you?
Sure, you can follow me on social media at Fascinated Jack. What about you, Christian?
You can find me on Twitter and TikTok at Chun2D2, as well as youtube.com/joyclicks for the video version of Excelsior, alongside a couple other videos that go up throughout the week. You can check out the show on audio services like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just look it up. You look up Excelsior, Avengers Podcast, or Joyclicks. You'll find it. Rating and reviewing on your platform of choice is appreciated if you can do it, because it takes a quick second and helps the shows out immensely. If you want to help us out further, you can go to patreon.com/joyclicks at the $1 and $5 tiers. $5 will get you producer credit on every show we produce, like Aaron Easton and Jose Garcia. So thank you very much. And that's it for Excelsior. We'll be back next week. We'll see what's up. Hopefully that roadmap. We got 2 more weeks left in March. The panic button's almost here. But until then, Excelsior.
Excelsior.